Hi everyone, welcome to homework 3 for quarter 4. I'm going to go through our words and some of the answers, but some of these I'm also going to want you to work on figuring out yourself. So let's take a look at the first one. We have invert. Remember, that means to flip inside out or to turn inside out. Revert means to turn back to the way something was, to go back to it was. Divert is to turn something in a different direction, to cause something to go in a different direction. Avert means to look in a different direction, right? To look, put your eyes in a different direction. And vertical means straight up and down, right? A vertical line is a line that is going up and down. So she had bad habits that she tried to fix, but she ended up, what would we use here? So if we're going back to her old ways, here we would use reverting. So let's go ahead and fill that in. Let me get my pen here. Sorry about that. All right. She ended up reverting back to her old ways. All right. The cop had to blank the traffic around the accident. So here we're moving it in a different direction. So divert. She tried to, again, we're changing the way our eyes are looking. So she had to avert her eyes. The y-axis is so on your coordinate grid, right, the y-axis is the vertical line on the graph. That's this line here, all right? She needed to blank the glove. It was on inside out, so she needed to turn it inside out, so she needed to invert the glove. All right, let's take a look at the next one. All right, so here we're using the word revert, but we are going to change it based on the sentence. So tomorrow it's in the future, right? Tomorrow. So tomorrow she will revert back to her old ways. You could also say tomorrow she is going to, is going to revert. That would also work, but will is a little bit shorter, right? All right, Mark, yesterday, so to make it yesterday, remember we add that suffix ed at the end to make it yesterday. Mark reverted yesterday. Corey always, this happens all the time, Corey always reverts. Our ending is an S there because it's about Corey. Corey always reverts. We will not, here the word is going to stay the same, revert this time. And they are, because we have an R here, we have to add a different ending. Our ending will be reverting, ing, because it's with R. So remember we have that is, am, are, doing something. All right. The next part is your reading. And let's take a look at our reading. I'm going to read it aloud. What I'll ask is that at home you follow along with me, and then you'll answer the questions. In the middle of a quiet forest, a group of animals lived happily together. One day, a loud crash echoed through the trees, and all the animals ran to see what happened. A tall tree had fallen, blocking the stream where they got their water. The beavers decided to divert the water by building a new path for the stream to flow. The birds flew up in a vertical line to look for any danger, while the squirrels worked on finding new places to store food. As the days passed, things started to get back to normal. The water now flowed around the fallen tree, and everyone had enough to drink again. The wise owl reminded everyone to always try to avert trouble by working together. The raccoons even helped invert some logs to make better paths for walking. After all the hard work, the forest slowly began to revert to the peaceful place it had always been. So you can see here that we have a lot of our words from today, from this week, with vert in them, right? All right, so why did the beavers divert the water? So here you're just going to write your answer, go back into the text, and use full sentences, right? The beaver diverted the water because why? All right, you're going to answer that question. What does it mean the birds flew in a vertical line? So draw a picture of what that would look like using your knowledge of the word vertical. What in the sentence helps you to know what the word revert means? So let's go back to where revert is. right? The forest slowly began to revert to the peaceful place it had always been. What part of that sentence tells us that revert means to go back to the way something was? All right, and make sure to write your citation there. For this last part, you're using the word bank here to complete the crossword. So you need to use the clues. You do this when you turn away your eyes. All right, we already talked about, and this is for across. So we go to the number 4 and we look at across. And remember, this is the one about eyes, when we move our eyes or turn our eyes. So this would be avert. Okay. Then you'll go down to the next clue. The next one we'll look at is 5 across. So 5 across, you do this when you change ounces into pounds. So when you change as ounces into pounds, we are converting. So convert. Number 6 across, the opposite of horizontal. So right now we're doing across, which is horizontal. And if we were to go up and down, we would do vertical. All right. And then I'm going to do 8 and 9, and the rest I want you to try on your own. So a large impediment may do this to the path of a river. So we talked about this in our story, right? In the river, it might divert the water. And then lastly, number 9, the doctor diagnosed her dizzy spells. So related to the word vert is vertigo. Vertigo is a sickness when you feel dizzy, so vertigo. All right, so I've given you quite a few of the horizontal ones. Using what I've given you from the horizontal ones, see if you can finish 11, 12, 13, and then you're going to go up and down. So number 1 down is here. So 1 down, you'll write your answer in there. 2 down is here, 3 down, and so forth and so on. Okay? All right, happy homeworking. Comment on this video for a homework pass. If I see that you're doing your homework, you have the opportunity to get a homework pass. Happy homeworking.